Hi everyone, it's Claire from ScrappyNerdUK and welcome to a process video, and this is for Scrap the Boys for this month, and our theme this month is numbers. So I thought I would do something slightly different rather than just use numbers on my layout. I wanted to show how you can use alphas, that you can Frankenstein into numbers as well, and you can do the reverse as well with other letters and numbers. But I thought I would try and do something a little different this month for the theme. Now, if you haven't seen the layouts created by the awesome ladies on the team for Scrap the Boys, then I'll leave the blog linked down below, so you can go ahead and take a look at the awesome layouts that have been created for this month and every month, to be fair. I'm always inspired by the layouts that the team create, so I want to share the love. So I'm working with the Sun-Kissed collection from Cocoa Vanilla Studio, which I think was last year's release, maybe the year before, I can't remember. And I am also using the mini alphabet punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. And I love this thing to be able to create my own letters, and you can do numbers on it as well. And it creates, this is a mini, but it creates still quite a large title. So in order to make the letters, there is a guide that shows you each letter, how to create each one. And so I'm referring to that. I don't remember all of this off the top of my head. But I decided that originally I was going to use the star paper, and I was looking at the gradient of colour that I wanted to use, but actually I decided, but I've messed up the S basically. I punched it back to front, but the opposite side is this orange into yellow ombre, and I thought actually that really pops on the background anyway. So I am happy. It was a happy accident because I actually prefer it, I think. And so I'm just going through and creating each letter. Now, I didn't realise. So you need little bits of well, card, paper, whatever you want to use, to make the letters. They are 1.5 by 2.5 inches. But with the M's, you actually need a 2.5 by 2.5 inch square. So I just went back to that paper and I cut out a couple of squares for those two M's as well, so I could make that all work. And then next up, I am using a cut file, just one that I found online, and it's just this little beach umbrella. So when I thought about this layout and putting it all together, I knew that my big title was going to go at the bottom, but I was a bit concerned about how much blank space I'd have at the top of the layout. So I have gone with that cloud paper, and I've been hoarding that, to be honest. But I have gone with the cloud paper, and this layout is a photograph of my hubby when he was a little boy, young lad, let's say that, and he was out in the garden with his friend having a water fight. And these photos are super old, so he has a small stack of photographs from his childhood, and I asked him if he wanted me to scrap them and create him an album, which he said he wouldn't mind. Well, he said he wouldn't mind. He said you could whatever. So he knows that I probably would have just gone ahead and done it anyway. But yeah, he's happy for me to do something with the photos rather than them just sitting in a drawer. And so this is one of them that I'm scrapping using the photos of his childhood. And I pulled out, oh my goodness me, this thick as alignment guide. So I used to use it a fair bit when I bought them. So there are two different ones. There's ones with the wavy lines, and then there's the circle and the hexagon ones. And it's been ages since I've used it, and I was trying to have I looked at the word summer straight across the page, and I just felt it was a little, I don't know, it just needed a little more interest, and so I thought I would try and do something a bit funky with it. And then I remembered I had the thick as alignment guides, so I went and grabbed those out to help me get a really nice curve on the title. But before I go ahead and stick all of those down, and I have just popped them up onto some foam dots to give it a little dimension, otherwise just sticking that on the background paper, it will just all be very flat, and I don't want that. So I've used the same paper I think I've used the same paper for the to back the umbrella or the parasol and the photo, and for those alphas. I think that's all from the same paper, like a yellow into orange into red paper, I think. So it's quite nice I wasn't trying to, but it's quite nice sticking to the same paper and getting, I think, most of that actually used up rather than chopping into another fresh sheet. And just trying to make that E and that R look okay, because obviously it's on that bend, and I just plunked it down and I've moved on because it didn't matter what way I did it, that E was not going to bend, and so I'm okay with it. I've overlapped and underlapped some of the letters anyway, just to add a little bit more of an interest, and also just to make sure it's squeezed in and that I have a little bit of space either side of the title as well. And then with with this cut file, I have added some just some craft foam to, again, just pop that up a little bit, and stuck that down with some double-sided tape. So this is where the numbers come in. So my title is going to be 1, 2, 3, it's summer, let's go. Or 3, 2, 1, it's summer, let's go. I can't remember which way round I did it. I think it was 1, 2, 3. And then I realised I didn't have enough S's. So this is where the Frankensteining of letters, or numbers should I say, comes in. So I've just taken an 8 and I've trimmed out the top and the bottom of it to create an S. And I'd like to think you wouldn't be able to tell. So if I didn't show you that I'd done that, then you probably wouldn't have known. I also didn't have any eyes left, so I trimmed a number 1. So I trimmed the top of it and also the ledge. Let's call it the ledge that it sits on. And I hashed this this eye completely. I kept trimming it down and trimming it down even more. I'm okay with it in the end. It's fine. So I do call it 1, 2, 3. It's summer. Let's go. So I'm actually using some of the numbers as they're intended on here as well. And I just love the pop of black that these alphas give, and just adds to the title a bit more. So here again, I've run out of E's, so I've used a number 3, which is one thing that I regularly do with my alphas. And then this is where I originally go to grab the S, and then I realised actually that's the same. I've only got one S as it is, and also I can just make them out of the 8s, which is what I did at the top. So I just want them to match. So I'm just going to trim that out, and then I think I have a G and an O. Obviously, you can always use a 0 as well, and then a little exclamation mark. So that is what I've done with my numbers on this layout. So I hope that that is something that you will give a go if you've got half used alpha packs that you have no E's. You can easily use 3s as E's. You can use 8s as S's. This really is only if it's there are some that you can't Frankenstein because of the style of them, but I think most of the foam ones you should be able to with no problem. And that's what happens. I actually get to use up some of the alphas that, or the numbers certainly, that may just be neglected because I don't use that many numbers. So when I get to use them, it's brilliant. So on to the embellishing. So I had this little sunshine on my mind from the, I think it was from the 6x8 paper pack, that little cut apart sheet. So I've just fussy cut, and that was brilliant because that worked perfectly tucked behind the right side of the photo. And then just deciding if any of those other bits were going to work. And to be honest, I think because there's such a curve in here, adding in anything that's square just wasn't really going to work. And this is what you'll see here when I try and bring this sticker in. It's just all very square, and it just creates negative spaces when, or trap spaces should I say, when I'm trying to add it in by the cut file. So I decide against it in the end. Again, just this long word sticker. Anything oblong or anything square just was not going to work for me. So I grabbed this circle sticker. I think it says Fun in the Sun, and I have tucked that underneath the title. I do go to come in with these tiny word stickers. Now they do feature at the end. but for the minute they remain off of the layout whilst I am adding in some other embellishments. So I decided to bring in, I think I've got, I'm ashamed to say, I think I've got 3 or 4 packs of these florals. I mean, I loved them when I still love them. I loved them when I got the collection, but I think I ended up with some in a kit, and then I ended up buying two packs of them, and yeah, they just multiplied. And so I really need to get them used up. So what I'm doing is I'm going to add a couple of flower clusters in to around my title. So I want them interacting with those letters, but not enough that you can't then read the title once these are all in place. And so I think that the word still maintains itself. You can still see that it reads summer. And so I'm just using some wet glue because that will give me a little bit of time to wiggle those flowers into place. And I use a mixture of some of the slightly larger and the smaller ones, and then just using some of those extra pieces where I just glue the bottom of it and just tuck it in, so it's not actually attached to the background all the way. And then I have a look because I think that the top is just missing, it's missing something, and I just think that nothing boxy, like I said, was going to work, and everything that I've got left in this collection is quite square. And so I've decided to use the florals at the top as well. I put them to one side because I wasn't 100% sure at first when I was creating this, but actually once I've added in these little puffy stickers, I do decide that I want some more colour at the top, and so I am going to be using some of those florals. And I was going to use that big green leafy piece, but I decided against it in the end. And again, just using some wet glue to stick all of these down to give me that little bit of time to wiggle them around if I need to. And I had quite a few of these little leafy pieces, so I'm just going to add in a few of those as well. And that got a nice chunk of those flowers used up from the collection. And then this is where I come in just with those tiny word stickers in 3 places to finish the layout off. So and I also add some white paint splatters, which you'll see as well. So thank you very much for joining me for today's video. As always, if you have enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. If you're new here, I'd love you to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see, there we go, that's the paint splatters just coming along, and it just adds a nice little extra texture to the layout as well. So yeah, if you want to watch some more videos, then I will leave a couple of those videos linked on screen for you in just a second, and I'll see you all again next time for another video. Bye now.